Good afternoon. Welcome to Africa Today. I am Wisdom Onisi. First, the headlines. On tax reform, PDP orders urge talks as presidency defends bills. Labor ground activities in 4 states. Biden arrives in Angola for his long-awaited sub-Saharan African visit. And on sport, referee for Arsenal versus Man United clash appointed. Now the news in details. The People's Democratic Party and other stakeholders on Monday called for broader consultation among relevant stakeholders to address concern over the tax bills currently before the National Assembly for consideration and passage. The PDP Deputy National Publicity Secretary Ibrahim Abdullahi and the Deputy National Youth Leader Timothy Osadolo wondered why President Bola Tinubu was in a hurry to pass the bill. For more than 2 weeks, the bill has sparked widespread controversy, with some northern lawmakers strongly opposed to the passage of the bill. Following approval of the Federal Executive Council in October, President Tinubu transmitted 4 tax reform bills to the National Assembly for consideration. Away from that, at least 3 states in Nigeria, including the Federal Capital Territory, experienced epileptic economic activities on Monday as members of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress declared industrial action in protest against the non-implementation of the 70,000 naira minimum wage. The strike comes as some states have refused to implement the new minimum wage in October and November 2024. Teachers in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, are irked over non-compliance with the new minimum wage of 70,000 naira by the area council in nation's capital. In Kaduna, Nigerian workers paralyzed activities in ministries and agencies in the state. In reaction, the Kaduna state government claimed it had commenced the payment of minimum wage in October, except the consequential adjustment. Similarly, in Ebonyi and Nasarawa state, members of the organized labor also crippled activities. However, in Ebonyi, the governor, Francis Nwifuru, gave the striking workers a 72-hour ultimatum to resume work or face dismissal. Away from that, the federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to reduce environmental impact associated with hazardous waste so as to maintain a healthy environment in the country. The Minister of Environment, Balarabe Lawal, gave the assurance at the training workshop on the end-of-life management of air conditioners and refrigerants held at the Government Technical College, Kano, on Wednesday. The minister, represented by the Director of National Zone Office, Idris Abdullahi, said it was in the line with his commitment that the ministry, in collaboration with Energy Commission of Nigeria and United Nations Environment Program, with support from the Clean Cooling Collaborative, organized the workshop. According to him, the workshop was designed to enhance the capacity of relevant stakeholders to sustainably manage the end-of-life components of the conditioners. When we return, news from other parts of West Africa. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Hillstv, Polka.
Welcome back. Now news from other parts of West Africa. The flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress NDC in Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, has pledged to introduce sustainable mining practices to tackle the environmental challenges caused by illegal mining activities. He stated that his administration would prioritize responsible mining to ensure the protection of natural resources while supporting the livelihood of miners. Addressing party supporters at Akrokeri in Fonana constituency during his campaign tour in Ashanti region, Mahama recognized the significance of small-scale mining in the local economy. He noted that while mining provides employment for many Ghanaians, it is improper regulation that has led to severe environmental degradation, including deforestation and water pollution. Now we move to other parts of Africa after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now news from other parts of Africa. President Joe Biden arrived in Angola on Monday for his long-awaited first presidential visit to sub-Saharan Africa. Thousands of people lined to the street as Biden entered Angola's capital, Luanda. Biden first stopped in the Atlantic Ocean island nations of Cape Verde for a brief closed-door meeting with Prime Minister Ulysses Carriel El Silva. The Angola Biden plans to meet with Angolan President João Lourenço, visit the National Slavery Museum, and travel to the port city of Lobito for a look at the rail project. His visit comes with weeks left in his presidency as Republican Donald Trump prepares to take office on January 28th. Let's also have you know that at least two people died and a dozen others were injured while Sudan's paramilitary rapid force attacked the Zamzam camp for displaced people in North Darfur. The camp, located south El Fashal, was struck by the heavy rocket and artillery fire, which was described as an indiscriminate attack by the local resistance committee. Sudan has been embroiled in a war between the regular army and the RSF since April last year, resulting in tens of thousands of deaths and more than 11 million displaced. After visiting Sudan and Chad, UN humanitarian chief Tom Fletcher called for urgent international action, describing the crisis as the biggest humanitarian crisis in the world. Up next is business. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now moving on to business news. The federal government has directed all ministries, departments and agencies to exclude new projects from their budget submission for 2025 unless these can be linked to the completion of ongoing initiatives. This is according to the 2024 federal government budget called circular document obtained by Newsman. The 2024 budget called circular clearly states that no new project will be admitted into the 2025 capital budget unless ministries, departments and agencies can demonstrate that sufficient resources have been allocated for their completion of ongoing projects. Ministries, departments and agencies are required to review their existing project portfolios and submit updated list of both ongoing and new capital projects using the Budget Office Capital Project Status template. Still on business news, the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation has received the necessary and complete document required to verify the 2.7 trillion naira fuel subsidy claim by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited against the government. This is as the Procurement Department of the Finance Ministry obtained the terms of reference and the scope of work to guide the process of hiring the external firm to support the OLUGF. Recall that in April 2024, the federal government commenced a fresh audit of the 2.8 trillion naira fuel subsidy claim by the NNPCL. Still to come is sport. Please stay with us. Welcome back now to Sport News. The Premier League has appointed Sam Barrett to officiate Wednesday's Premier League clash between Arsenal and Manchester United at the Emirates. Barrett was in charge when the Gunners beat Leicester City 4-2 earlier in the season. After the match, he was criticized for the decision to not award a free kick after Jamie Vardy was allegedly fouled in the build-up to Arsenal's opener. Barrett also opted not to send Ricardo Calafiori off for what appeared to be a stonewall second yellow card. This led to Barrett being dropped for the next round of features, but he has since been reinstated. Still on sport news, Briton Daniel Dobbs will defend the world's heavyweight title against former champion Joseph Barker in Saudi Arabia on 22nd February. Dobbs, 27 years, made a spectacular first defense of his IBF belt by beating Anthony Joshua in September. New Zealand Percal, 32, had the WBO title between 2016 and 2018 before losing it to Joshua. Also on the card in Riyadh, Artol Beterbiev will defend his undisputed lightweight crown in a rematch with the fellow Russian Dmitry Bivol. Defeated Londoner Hamzat Sheares will challenge for his maiden world title against WBC middleweight champion Carlos Admes, while British light heavyweight Joshua Bartis and Callum Smith will meet for Bartis' WBO interim title. Shakur Stevenson will put his WBC lightweight belt on the line against Floyd. Scofield and Zivil Ziang faces Agil Kabial for the interim WBC heavyweight title to complete the blockbuster card. And that's your sport news on Africa Today. Now we move to the rest of the news after this break. Please stay with us. Glad to have you back. Now the rest of the news. Egypt on Monday hosted an international conference to rally humanitarian support for Gaza, which has been rocked by more than a year of war between Hamas and Israel. The conference in Cairo was attended by many senior regional and Western officials, according to the Egyptian Foreign Ministry. UN Deputy Secretary General Amina J. Mohammed and other senior UN officials also attended. The conference came as the humanitarian situation has rapidly deteriorated in Gaza, especially in the Strip's northern areas, which have been almost cut off for nearly 2 months. The conference addressed the political, security, and humanitarian aspect of the situation in Gaza, with a particular emphasis on the supporting UNRWA's operations, according to the ministry. And that's Africa Today. But before we go, here are the headlines. Once again, we told you that on tax reform, PDP urge talks as presidency defense bills. We brought to you that Labour grant activities in 4 states. And we also informed you that Biden arrives in Angola for his long-awaited sub-Saharan African visit. And on sport, we informed you that referee for Arsenal versus Man United clash appointed. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hillstv Abuja, Instagram at Hillstv Abuja, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Hillstv. I am Wisdom Onizi. Thanks for watching.